Let's be totally open and honest for a couple of minutes. Your favorite singers didn't learn how to do all the spectacular stuff that they're capable of, or they were capable of in their prime as singers, by taking weekly 1 hour singing lessons. A voice like Chris Cornell, Louder Than Love, Bad Motorfinger, Super Unknown, that is not a weekly singing lessons voice, which is why you don't sound like that. And that's why you don't sing like that, even though you've been taking lessons, right? I'm even more convinced that, my favorite singers, your favorite singers, didn't learn how to do the spectacular stuff that they're capable of from doing vocal courses. Obviously, a voice like Glenn Hughes, Trapeze, Deep Purple in the 1970s, Steve Marriott, Paul Rogers, all these spectacular singers, they didn't do vocal courses. They didn't buy books. They didn't learn how to do this in that way. So if lessons aren't the solution and courses aren't the solution, and that's the only solution that you're ever given, it's almost like professional and successful singers are given door number 3. What's behind door number 3? Now, if you're a rock singer that has taken lessons, you bought courses, you've been on the YouTube loop, video after video after video for far too long, you're trying out everything, doesn't matter how much effort, time, energy, money you throw at the problem, you're just not getting any better. This video is for you because this was also my experience learning how to sing. Let me give you some context on this. If you've watched a few of my videos before, you've probably noticed that I'm not that positive about conventional vocal methods because I really think that there is more than one way to skin a cat, right? You can take someone from New York and they're going to have a really, really wide natural setup in their vowel. They're going to think that's neutral. You're going to take someone from France or with a French Canadian accent. They're going to be really narrow on the vowel and think that's neutral. If you give them the same instruction, you are going to get wildly different results with these two people. I think that's most vocal methods. They kind of give a middle ground solution, which gives as many people as possible average results, instead of really taking people and giving them exceptional results with very specialized instructions. And that's ultimately what door number 3 is, right? You're going to see interviews with people like, Miles Kennedy and, even Paul Rogers and Steven Tyler. And they're going to say that they didn't take singing lessons, or they're going to say, hey, look, I had a problem with my voice. I went to this guy, we worked out a solution. I went out on a tour and nailed it, right? I saw an interview with Miles Kennedy recently where he was talking about that, right? They don't get caught on the weekly singing lesson loop and they don't buy vocal courses. So what solution are they actually being given? Let me give you some context on this. Why am I talking about this, right? Now, when I look at my favorite singers and the singers that I really aspire to be like, there is no physical manifestation of their high notes, right? So if I'm singing a Paul Rogers song, right? Many times and many tears, times were hard, but now they're changing. You should know how it feels, my friend. I'm ready for love, oh baby, I'm ready for love, yeah. Ready for love, oh baby, I'm ready for your love. This kind of thing, right? You almost can't, mute that, and you probably can't even really see that I'm singing high notes, right? The reason I'm really talking about this is because a couple of weeks ago, I saw Rose Tattoo. Angry Anderson is 76 years old. He's almost an 80-year-old man, right? They have not lowered the key of any of the songs, all original key. They've not slowed him down either. I think they actually play faster live than they do on the records, right? And he's wailing, A4s, B4s, C5s, there's even a D5 in there, whilst we're going to be a completely gritty, completely natural. He sounds like a 24, 25-year-old guy when he sings, right? And one of the most amazing things is it looks like he's doing nothing. He's not actually doing one single thing that I was taught, that you're being taught right now to do when we sing, the embouchure and this and that and the support and blah, 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 posture. He's not doing any of it, right? Guy pretty much doesn't open his mouth when he sings. When you're standing in the front row and you're seeing him sing, there's no physical manifestation of his high notes, right? If we're singing a song like, treachery builds locks and chains, we are forced to live our darkest days, oh, for one, yeah, one for all, in good company we rise or fall, oh, for one, yeah, one for all, I won't turn away, hear my call. Right? There's no like, okay, I've got to do this weird shit for this high note and tongue in the mouth and the blah, blah, blah. He's doing none of it, right? That's what I see when I see Paul Rogers singing. That's what I see when I see Steve Marriott singing. That's what I used to see in Chris Cornell's voice in, late 80s, early 90s, right? Just such an effortless, natural thing. And I think this is where most people go wrong with their singing. Let me give you some past tense context on this as well. I started singing in about 1997, 98, something like that, by accident. We had a rehearsal booked, singer didn't turn up. I was like, oh, fuck it, we've got to do something with this time that we've paid for, right? We can sit here and drink beer for 3 hours. That's fine with me as well. However, we've got this time. I'm just going to sing the songs. Everyone's ears bled. We all had a good laugh, and that was the end of that. However, I really caught the singing bug from that experience, right? I was absolutely awful. Couldn't sing any of the songs. I blew my voice out. However, I was like, man, that was really, really cool. Like, there was a few songs of mine that I'd written that other people had been singing. I was like, that was kind of cool to sing my own words. And I was like, I know these songs and I love these songs and I somehow remember all the lyrics. And it was just something I really enjoyed. And I was like, how the fuck do I get better at this? I started taking singing lessons. And I got pulled in every single direction that you can get pulled in as a singer. I went down the classical path and the opera path. Don't sing that sound. Don't sing that vowel. You can't sing that note. You've got a D2. That means physically you cannot sing a C5. Yeah, all this kind of strange stuff. Your mouth must be like this. Pop lessons, musical theater lessons. I had a jazz teacher for a little while. She was really fantastic, actually. I think I learned more from her than I learned from anyone else in that time. I got a lot out of those sessions, right? It was really many, many years of training that I went through before someone really stepped back and said, hang on. Why are you putting yourself through this? And it was a question I couldn't really answer at the time. I'd just gotten on a loop of taking singing lessons because that's what you have to do to learn how to sing. How else am I going to learn how to sing, right? And obviously told the story of, blowing my voice out, and I just wanted to sing those songs, and everyone laughed at me, and then I started taking singing lessons. And he's like, well, hang on, you want to sing these songs, you want to sing these Megadeth and Danzig songs and this Doors song, this kind of thing, right? Why the hell are you taking opera lessons? That's not going to help you sing that stuff, right? It's going to help you sing opera. Right, so there's this disconnect and there's this conflict of interest between what you're being taught and what you're being told to do and what you're being told is the truth compared to what you actually need to do to reach those goals. So I ask again, what do you want to do and what's our time frame? Right? And then let me come up with a solution. The amount of people that come to me saying, man, can you help me find mixed voice? And they come to me and they've got a support issue. The amount of people that come to me saying, man, if you could just help me like support up to a couple more notes and their vowels are completely off. Right? You've got to that's what a singing teacher is for, to tell you what the actual problem is and to work towards that, right? The problem is not that your mixed voice sucks. The problem is what's actually going on. When you try and sing that Alice in Chains song, when you try and sing that 70s Aerosmith song and your voice flips and breaks, that's the actual problem. Don't try and fill in the blanks yourself, right? Once you have that goal plus a time frame, you have door number 3, right? This is why professional and successful singers have that experience learning how to sing, that it really takes singing lessons. Whereas guys like you and me, rock guys that go to a classical singing teacher, we're basically led down this other completely different path, being pulled in this other direction. And all the training's pointless because what you're singing is different to what you are learning, right? So if I can take anything away from watching a singer like Angry Anderson at almost 80 years old, swigging on a beer, just, singing songs which are just A4, B4, C5 over and over and over again for 3 minutes for an hour-long set, it's that vocal technique is not there to make you do stuff. I think that's the mistake that most people made, right? So Angry Anderson is not doing any of the things that we're told that we need to do. However, he actually is. He sings without constriction. He sings with complete freedom. He nails the notes. He's bright forward. He does support his voice correctly. Now, if he went to a singing teacher right now at 76 years old and they told him to do all this weird contrived stuff that you've been trying to do, that you were told to do in lessons, and the embouchure and the blah, 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 he's going to blow his voice out very, very quickly. He would lose all the range he's had for, 50 years of being a spectacular rock singer, one of the greatest rock singers I think I've ever seen live, right? He's so on point live. He's absolutely spectacular live, right? He's going to lose all of that, right? Because that's a door number 3 voice. That is not a voice built by weekly 1-hour singing lessons. That's not a voice built by vocal courses and books, right? That is a voice built by door number 3. Basically, what's actually going on? What do I need to do to fix it? How do I get through this show? And I think a lot of older singers are like that. I think a lot of singers that grew up with more traditional rock and roll and soul and that kind of stuff, and Elvis, I think they look at singing differently to someone like me that grew up listening to Motorhead. I think we just look at singing completely differently, right? And we look at a tour and we're like, okay, well, how do I have to sing so that I get through the tour? And that's what I see in a singer like Paul Rodgers. That's what I see in a singer like Angry Anderson. How can I write this song and write this vocal line so that I can sing this on tour and not lose my voice? That's almost an art that's been lost in time. They are door number 3 singers. I want to open up door number 3 for you. If you are interested and serious about working with me, there is a link down below. I want to hear what your goal is. I want to hear what your time frame is, and I want to hear what's actually going on with your voice. Don't tell me that you suck at mixed voice. Don't tell me you suck at support. Tell me what actually happens. Tell me a song you're trying to sing and give me an exact point where, like, hey, look, at when I sing this note in the chorus, my voice just splits into falsetto, or I shout and yell and I can't sing for a week, right? There's a link down below to door number 3. If you want me to open up door number 3 for you, hit that link down below. The purpose of vocal technique is not to make you do a bunch of weird, contrived things. The purpose of vocal technique is to stop you from doing a bunch of weird, contrived, strange things. If you are making strange movements and strange faces and strange sounds, and you don't know why you're doing it or you don't know how to apply them in singing, my suggestion for you is to stop doing them right now. You know, you've probably got this whole list of things that you've been trying to do, from the lessons you take and courses you watched, the YouTube, videos that you've watched on that loop. You've got this whole set of things that you think you have to do to sing. I encourage you to do none of them right now. Right this very second. Pause this video. Go and sing a vocal line without doing any of the things that you think you have to do. And you may very well be pleasantly surprised at what happens, or you may notice that the same issue is there. Right? These things that aren't helping you sing any better, the same issue's there whether you do them or not. So stop wasting your time doing them and find a real solution by hitting the link down below and getting in touch with me. Most importantly, hit the subscribe button. We are going to talk soon.